This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba for another technical diving tips, techniques, and trips video. What we're going to talk about in this video is the PADI NOTOX gas switching procedure. As always, your instructor or your teammates may conduct their gas switching procedures differently. So we recommend that you use the procedure appropriate for your situation. Hello divers, in this video what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the PADI NOTOX gas switch procedure. NOTOX is spelled N-O-T-O-X. The N stands for note your tank label. The O stands for observe your depth. The T stands for turn on the valve. The O stands for orient the regulator hose. And then the X stands for examine your teammates. So we're going to discuss each one of these steps more in detail. So we're going to begin the NOTOX gas switch procedure with the hand signal. This means switch to a gas. And sometimes you'll also, people see the pinky finger, which stands for deco, so that means gas switch to your deco gas. Alright, so I've got my tank and it's snapped into me, and we're going to be doing left-hand carry, a single deco tank in this video. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to take your left hand and you want to put it on the tank valve. Once you put your left hand on the tank valve, you do not want to let go until you're complete with the procedure. Alright, so once we have that, we're ready to start the procedure with the N, which stands for note your tank label. So I'm going to be looking at my label on my tank to make sure that it's my tank, it has my initials or my name on it, that it has the correct blend that I want to use, and then it has the correct MOD. So that is the first step, is to note your tank label. The second step, the O, is observe your depth. I'm going to observe that on my computer. I'm going to be using the standard protocol of having my computer on my left wrist, and I'm actually going to be checking my depth periodically throughout this process to make sure that I haven't changed in depth. So you can check your computer or you can check the relative position of your teammates. So that's the O. The next step is T. That stands for turn on the gas. So we're going to follow a particular procedure to do that, to verify that we're on the correct gas. We want to be very careful of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack the valve by turning your left hand and turning it back. So the valve is actually closed at this point. We're going to look at our pressure gauge. You can see it's pressurized right now. And what I'm going to do is, while the gauge is pressurized, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to press the purge button on the regulator. So if it is the correct regulator and I have the correct tank, what you'll see is you'll see the gauge go down. So the gauge has actually dropped. It's now at 1,000 pounds. And what I'm going to do is, now that I've seen that the pressure gauge has dropped and I've got my hand on the correct valve and I've got my right hand on the correct regulator, I'm now going to turn on the valve and I'm going to open it all the way. So that's the T in the NOTOX sequence. And I'm checking my depth again to make sure I'm good with that. Alright, the next letter is O, which stands for orient the regulator, the second stage. So what I'm going to do is, now that I know that I've got the correct regulator, I'm going to pull it out of the octo holder and I'm going to pull out the hose from the retaining strap. I'm going to orient the hose around my neck. This is where having a first stage with a turret on there is very handy, because now I have a better angle of attack from my hose here. Alright, so I'm now ready to switch to my new gas. And one thing that some certification agencies would like you to do is to actually go to your teammate and expose the content sticker to your teammate to verify that it's okay to switch. So that's just another check to make sure you're switching to the right gas. Now, when I'm ready to switch to my gas, one of the things I want to do is I want to again press the purge button just to verify again that my tank is now still open. So I'm holding my regulator, my decompression regulator, with the bottom 3 fingers, and I can take out my back gas regulator with my thumb and my forefinger. So I can take that out, I can clip it on, to my D-ring on my right shoulder, and I can put my decompression regulator in my mouth. So at this point, I'm now breathing off of my decompression gas. The last letter in the NOTOX sequence is X, and that stands for examine your teammates. You want to look around just to double check that everybody is on the correct gas. The very last step, it's not in the NOTOX sequence, but the very last step is to change the gas on your computer. You want to make sure that you switch to the correct gas so that your decompression schedule on your computer is going to be accurate. And in fact, just to reinforce that, you can see on the bottom of my regulator, my exhaust valve, I actually have a sticker that says switch computer gas, just to remind me to do that. That is one of the very common things that new divers forget to do, is to switch their computer once they switch to a new gas. So that is the PADI NOTOX gas switch procedure. This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helps with your training, and please subscribe. This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba. Thanks for watching. I hope this video will be helpful in your training, and please subscribe.